So now we're doing TryHackMe, pre-security, how the web works, HTTP in detail, task 4, HTTP status codes. All right. So in the previous task, we learned that when an HTTP server responds, the first line always contains a status code informing the client of the outcome of their request and also potentially how to handle it. Okay. That wasn't the exact last one. It was over here in task 2 when we saw this right here with the 200 OK. All right. So let's go back over here. So these status codes can be broken down into 5 different ranges. So we got 100 to 199. That's going to be information responses. So these are sent to tell the client the first part of their request has been accepted and they should continue sending the rest of their request. These codes these codes are no longer very common, right? So yeah, I've never seen anything like this. All right, so we got 200 to 299 success. So this range of status codes is used to tell the client their request was successful. Gotcha. 300, 399, redirection. So these are used to redirect the client's request to another resource. This can be either to a different web page or a different website altogether. Okay. We got 400 to 499 client errors. And this is used to inform the client that there was an error with the request. And then we've got 500 to 599 server errors. And this is reserved for errors happening on the server side and usually indicates quite a major problem with the server handling the request. Okay. So we've got some common HTTP status codes, and there are a lot of different HTTP status codes, and that's not including the fact that applications even define their own. Okay. So we're going to go over the most common HTTP responses that we're going to likely come across. Gotcha. So we got 200 OK, like we saw up there. The request was completely successful. 201 created. A resource has been created, for example, a new user or a new blog post. Gotcha. 301 moved permanently. So this redirects the client browser to a new web page or tells search engines that the page is moved somewhere else and to look there instead. Gotcha. We got 302 found. Similar to the above permanent redirect, but as the name suggests, I don't see how that suggests anything, honestly. This is only a temporary change. How does that suggest that? But whatever. Maybe in this guy's mind. This is only a temporary change and it may change again in the near future. All right. So we got 400 bad request. This tells the browser that something was either wrong or misleading in their request. This could sometimes be used if the web server resource that is being requested expected a certain parameter that the client didn't send. I'll take your word for it. 401 not authorized. So we're not currently allowed to view this resource until we have authorized it with the web application, most commonly with a username and password. Makes sense. We got 403 forbidden, and we do not have permission to view this resource whether we're logged in or not. All right, let's skip this one. 404 page not found. The page or resource we requested does not exist. We've seen that plenty in life. All right, 405 method not allowed. So the resource does not allow this method request. For example, we send a GET request to the resource or create an account when it was expecting a POST request instead. How foolish of Firefox. Anyway, I don't know how that would happen, but hopefully we'll figure that out later. We got 500 internal service error. Pardon me. So the server has encountered some kind of error with our request that it doesn't know how to handle properly. Gotcha. 503, service unavailable. I think I've seen this before. This server cannot handle our request as it's either overloaded or down for maintenance. Gotcha. So if we're a visual learner, we can also check out the great http.cat resource to study status codes. Yeah, we can click this. And the further you go down, the more political it gets. But for now, these ones aren't that bad. All right, let's go. So now we're going to click the view site button to the right up there to see what some of these HTTP status messages look like in a browser. Okay, so let's come up here, click this. 403 forbidden. You ain't getting nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. 404 error. File not found. Page not found. The requested URL missing.html was not found on this server. Okay. And that server right there, we got 503. Service unavailable. The server is temporarily unavailable to service our request due to maintenance downtime or capacity problems. Please try again later. Okay. How about now? I'm kidding. All right. Let's go back down here and answer some questions. Okay. What response code might we receive if we've created a new user or blog post article? New user created 201. Let's do it. Come on, 201. Show me the money. There we go. Pardon me. Oh, pardon me. I dusted my computer earlier and I got a lot of dust in my face. I should have been wearing a mask. Maybe you should too. Anyway, let's go. What response code might we receive if we've tried to access a page that doesn't exist? Page doesn't exist. I think that's a 404, huh? Let's check it. Looks good. What response code might we receive if the web server cannot access its database and the application crashes? Cannot access its database. It's going to be either this one or this one. Let's say 503. 503. All right, good. What response code might we receive if we try to edit our profile without logging in first? Without logging in. It's going to be one of these 4s. Probably 4 not authorized because of the username and password. Let's go 401. 401 and submit it. Come on. Yeah. There we go. All right. So now we're on to task 5 headers. And we'll see you next time.